I want to wish the best, warmest welcome to my great friend and colleague Mattias Carlsson. Welcome to TOCCA Talks.
Thank you so much, Victoria. It's so nice to be here and meet you and all your friends.
All my friends.
Yes.
I'm really excited to have you here for a lot of reasons, but one obviously is that you are a fellow producer.
Yes.
Who also came from being a performer yourself from the beginning, and now, you know, have your own production company. And you're Swedish, but you live in Norway.
Yes, I do.
Oh.
I moved here 20 years ago. Oh my God, it's a long time ago. Yeah, it's actually 20 years.
Wow.
It is. Yeah. So, but at that time I was performing myself as a musical artist. I came here with a company to entertain, who started their business here at that time, and we did a show called "Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum."
Yay! Great show.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
I don't know actually how big success it was at that time, but it was a lot of fun. So I stayed here. I love Norway. I still do. I met my husband here, and then I'm still here. Started my own company called Starworks. So we're doing a lot of musicals now here.
Yeah.
So we're running a theater called Chateau Neuf here in Oslo.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've been there and performed there as well.
Yes,
it's beautiful.
Yes, with a big success you did.
Yeah.
Norwegians loved you guys.
That was great. And that was actually our last show before the pandemic hit.
Oh, yeah, it was.
It was February 1st, 2020. We did From Broadway to Duvemåla at Chateau Neuf in Oslo. And it was actually the first show of our tour that we did abroad. Yeah. And, you know, we are still looking to expand outside of Sweden and do more work in Norway as well. But, you know, to expand outside of Sweden when this whole pandemic situation is over. But it was so nice to come.
Yeah, can you compare the Swedish audience to the Norwegian?
I mean, here is the thing. We were all kind of scared before coming to Oslo because we didn't know if the Norwegian audience, I mean, how they would feel about us coming from Sweden. Yeah. Because for the people who don't know, there is sort of like a big brother, little brother complex between Sweden and Norway, where, I mean, Sweden and Norway used to be one country, or Sweden used to own Norway, or whatever you want to call it. But now Norway...
Don't tell the Norwegians.
We used to own you guys.
Yes.
And then you broke free and you're a super wealthy country and doing fantastic. Yeah. But the point is that there is some sort of rivalry sometimes still between Sweden and Norway. So
absolutely.
So we didn't know coming to Norway, like, how will we be received? So we were a little bit nervous going on stage that night. And, you know, I don't think I've ever felt so much love and enthusiasm. And it was one of, like, hairs on my arms standing up now. Because, like, we walked on stage for the first number and felt like rock stars. I mean, the audience was absolutely wonderful. I mean, it was the best experience. It's hard to compare to the Swedish audience because I feel like the Swedish audience has also received us with so much love and warmth. And we've grown a very, very strong fan base, and the audience usually loves us with, I'm talking about From Broadway to Duvemåla, also in Sweden. But it was something...
Because you have been running that for a long time now, huh?
Yeah, we were supposed to celebrate 5 years last year.
That's what we call a big success.
Yeah, so we're waiting, you know, to be able to do it again, and so that we can actually celebrate our 5th year anniversary.
But the funny thing was, because it became like a big rumor that you were visiting Chateau Neuf, and people were like, "Oh, we missed that show, so you have to come back for sure."
Of course, we're
when
coming
it opens
back.
Up. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was such a wonderful experience, and I can't thank the Norwegian audience enough. It was so lovely to come there, and I think it's also because I felt like we came with a very sort of open attitude as well. I mean, it's a serious show. I mean, don't get me wrong, but we do have a lot of, what do you call it in English? Self-distance. Vad säger man? Självdistans.
Yeah. Self-distance, yeah.
So, you know, we can joke about ourselves. We can, you know, like, and Laila, one of our main soloists, her boyfriend is from Norway, and so we could make jokes about that. And it was just very open, and no, we loved it. So I would love to do more work in Norway. So I do understand why you're still there after 20 years.
I love it. I love it so much here, and but I also work a lot with television here. I'm working as a TV director as well. So I'm doing both. And that's where, but you know, it's really funny because when I'm in Sweden working, they always say, well, yeah, go and ask the Norwegian director over there. And when I'm here in Norway, they always say, yeah, ask the Swede over there, you know. So I'm kind of sitting in between those two countries. And it's really funny though. But
but you also work with Eurovision, right?
Yes, I do. I've been working with Eurovision for, I think it's my 12th year this year, I think. Yeah. So, I actually started here in Norway doing that. Well, actually, I started in a schlager group in Sweden called Schlagerfeber.
Oh.
And they are still up running.
I know.
So I was a member of that one from the beginning. And then I moved to Norway and started working for MGP as Melody. It's the opposite of Melodifestivalen.
Right.
It's called Melody Grand Prix here in Norway.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that for many years, 12 years now. And I'm also doing, I've been working with the Eurovision Song Contest a couple of times.
Yeah. Oh my God, my son would absolutely love talking to you. He's 10 years old and he knows everything.
He's a big fan.
He knows everything about Eurovision. It's really stressful because he's like, oh, you remember this song from 2014 from Greece? And I'm like, what? And
I'm a big fan, but I can't remember.
He knows everything. It's crazy. That's all he's watching
Impressive.
Currently on YouTube. I don't know why. Like, I don't know where it's coming from, but it's interesting.
Are you interested in Eurovision Song Contest?
I watch it.
Yeah.
I don't think I would ever perform in it, probably.
Why? Can I ask you why?
I'm too old.
No.
Oh, not if you do like the old lady thing from Poland, you know, or something like that. Then I can do it.
Yes. You're hired.
Yay! No, but if we did something crazy,
you are going to be this. I can hire you to Norway. You're going to be this Swedish old woman pretending to be a Polish actor. Like
exactly. Do I make money doing it? Because then why not?
Yeah, well, let's figure out. If you win, you will make a lot of money.
Oh, good. No, I don't know. I don't. A lot of artists say that. Melodifestivalen or Eurovision is a big dream of theirs. It's never been a big dream for me.
No.
I've always felt like if the opportunity presents itself and it's the right song, then I would be interested. But I've always been very, very much into musical theater.
Yeah.
So it's just two different things, really, you know.
It is absolutely, and I didn't. Well, I watched Eurovision when I was younger, but I didn't see myself in that. I love theater. I love musical theater.
Yeah,
because that's.
But that's how you started out as well, right? Because you also went to Balettakademin.
Yes, I started Ballet Academy '92, and and finished 95. Oh my God, that's a long time.
Were you in the same class as Johan Espeland?
He was the year before me.
Oh.
Yeah, so he was so we were really close friends. And we
Oh,
still
good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I spoke to him last week, actually.
Oh, you did? Yeah. No, in my class, who can you guys know? We were many good singers who still performs. I know Anna Maria Hallgren was in my class, and Malena Laszlo was in my class. Who else? Yeah, a lot of good artists.
Yeah,
really, who still performs.
Yeah. So before we started recording this interview, you told me that you stopped, like you worked as an like a performer for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So you did a bunch of musicals. I remember this. Maybe I saw you in something. I can't remember.
Maybe you saw me in The Wizard of Oz. It was a big production at Lisebergsteatern.
Yeah, what did you play?
I played the Scarecrow.
Oh.
Yeah. At that time, I think we totally did like 350 performances.
Wow.
Of that show, yeah. And then I did 42nd Street. I did Cyrano de Bergerac at Oscar's Theater, My Fair Lady at Oscar's Theater.
Oh, Cyrano. So then you were with Fred Johansson as well, right?
Yes, that's right. Cool. Me and Fred and Patrick Martinsson was in that one as well.
Okay.
So many good people. And Marlena Ernman was in Cyrano de Bergerac as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we were many people.
Yeah. But
memories, long time ago. It is fun.
So how come you started then? Did you start choreographing or start directing, or how did you sort of change path?
Well, I started to work in Östgötateatern.
Right.
I was hired there for it was Jekyll and Hyde. I think it was 99 or something, with Anders Ekborg and Sharon Dial.
That show I saw.
Yeah,
actually.
I was in that one.
Oh.
Yes, I was in that one. So that's and then the next show was My Fair Lady. So the head of the theater, Johan Selander, asked me but you're doing some choreographing as well, Mattias, because I worked as the choreographer assistant for Jekyll and Hyde. And I said, yeah, I do. So he asked me to choreograph that show. So that's how it started, actually. Well, I did small shows, around, but that was my first big show I did.
Okay.
And then the natural way, I'm into storytelling. I like when I'm choreographing, I like to tell a story, and then, you go into naturally being a director. So that's how I did it.
So which was the first show you directed?
It was Chicago.
Oh, wow.
In Östgötateatern, yes,
also,
it was.
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
That was the first big show I directed myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you start working with a project, what is like your process in terms of like, I mean, now we're actually going to work together. So yes. I know a little bit
Looking
about
forward
it.
to.
Yay! Because for everyone who doesn't know, Mattias is the director and choreographer for my production of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah.
That we're still
Dalhalla.
At Dalhalla, exactly. And we're still sort of waiting to see if it's going to happen this year or what's going to happen because of COVID. But eventually it will happen. So
it will happen. Yeah,
bear with us, sure. But it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But when you get or start working with the project, like what is your process?
Well, obviously, I read the script first, but
awesome.
it's a good idea to start there.
That's fantastic.
No, I always try to get to my own point zero, as I say.
Okay.
To not make any big pictures from the beginning. I'm trying to put myself into like a yeah, like a ground zero. I started from that point, and then I'm reading the script over and over again, starting to learning the different lines. I'm starting to follow the leading star. Where do you, and how to follow that? Where is the changing point for that character?
Yeah.
And then I'm doing that for each character, actually. So that's where I start the whole script.
Yeah.
And figuring out how and to get the whole picture of it.
And I imagine that's
Was I clear about that?
Yeah. And I think I've never directed, and I'm not sure that I ever will, because it's frightening to me. I like the producing side that I'm doing now, but never say never. I don't know, but I think that sounds like a really good plan, because obviously that is then going to help you once you start working with the actors or the performers, because you can. One of the things that I feel sometimes when it comes to directors that I've worked with is that they don't always give you as much information as you would like, in terms of, where the character is going, or
I think
some directors, especially when it comes to musical theater, they're just looking at the picture they want to create.
But I think that's the easy part. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is where should I take the characters? Where are they bringing me? Where should I bring them? So, but of course, I have to also. And when I got those pictures in my head, I'm starting to think, what is my reading of the whole play?
Right.
You see what I mean? Is it like naturalistic, or is it like in the future? Where should I put the play?
Yeah.
So that's the next step for me.
Yeah.
But the first step is actually to understand the characters in the play.
Yeah.
What am I dealing with?
Yeah. So what has been like one of your favorite shows to direct, and why?
I have to say the Family Addams, the Addams Family that I did. I love that show, and that was it was all about craziness. I mean, there was no limits. There was kind of, I could go far as I wanted. I mean, that it was it is a love story, basically. But all the craziness, everyone knows about the characters,
Right.
And the team that I worked with was amazing as well. No, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, I have to say. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. And you also had the privilege you were the director for that new Norwegian show, right?
Optimist,
yes, exactly. I saw it.
It's a new written play, yeah. It's based of Jahn Teigen and his songs. It's a little bit kind of a Mamma Mia show, but in Norwegian.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, I assume there must have been like differences creating something from scratch, completely.
It's completely different. It's you can't compare, because you don't have any answers. I mean, if you like doing, say Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always go back and look at some YouTube clips or whatever. What is that about? What is that? You can always get some help,
Right.
When you start with the script from the beginning.
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, it's you who it's you as a person who should decide. Yeah, this is it. This is the way we should go. So
how long did you work with that show?
2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a long process. It was hard. It was hard. So when I look at the show now, I would say, oh, why did I do that? And why did I, oh my God. I should have changed that. I shouldn't done that, you know. So yeah, but it's
I mean,
always,
you can always do that if you
yeah.
decide to do the show again. So
I still like the script. I really love the script.
it
And the
was a
songs,
nice
and
show. I liked it.
the song is amazing. The songs are amazing. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it was a lovely show. And
Thank you.
yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. And as I said before, the stage at Chateau Neuf, it's really exciting compared to a lot of other theaters, because it's a, you know, it's like a, what do you call it?
Arena
Yeah,
theater.
it's like an
Yeah.
amphitheater.
Amphitheater, yeah.
And the stage is round, and sort of like you have the audience in more closer to you in a way, because they're also coming in from the sides a bit. So it's,
But at the same time, you have to work wider as an artist as well.
Yeah. But that was really, really interesting when we came with From Broadway to Duvemåla, because it was a very different kind of stage, and like, how do we work the room here? But it works beautifully. It's a really, really nice place. I wish I had a theater in Sweden that I owned.
Yeah, we are
maybe
lucky.
later.
You never know.
You never know.
No.
So do you still work as a choreographer as well? I think you mentioned that. Not really.
No, not really. I'm doing small stuff, but that's easy. You know what happened? When I look at things that I can't do myself, then it totally stopped for me. You know, I couldn't do it anymore, because I love to watch those kids who can do street and hip hop and stuff like that. I love that, but I can't do it myself. So it's better other people can do it. I still tap. I still doing those big lines, you know, everything. I can do that.
Yeah.
But no, there is other people who's doing that so much better than I. So I'll let them do it.
Right. So,
and I'm working with a lot of very good and talented choreographers nowadays. So
yeah. So how come you, well, I mean, you talked about it before a little bit with the Eurovision, or but how come you sort of ended up, because you're not choreographing, are you staging numbers, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm staging numbers.
Okay.
And doing small choreographies, as I said.
Right.
Yeah, of course I do. But I'm starting with ideas of how to create how the whole look of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So your job then is all like the whole picture, with lighting and like lighting the whole
and
idea.
Picture, lighting and pictures and everything. So yeah, that's
cool.
what I'm doing. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So how did you get into that?
Well, it started, I choreographed a number in Oslo for a girl. Her name is Maria Haukås, famous artist here. And it started there, actually. And then NRK called me and asked me if I would take over the whole thing. Shalabang.
Whoa.
So I did that.
So is that because Swedes are much better at Eurovision than Norway?
No, oh, you're rude.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, of course. Well, actually, I have been in Sweden. Work. I choreographed and designed the whole Anna Bergendahl number. When
which
she won.
one?
The first,
the first
one where Sweden didn't get through, actually.
Oh no, that was your fault.
So that was my fault.
Oh my God. Okay.
No, yeah. So I choreographed and directed that number.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
She's sweet. I like her.
She is adorable. She's amazing on stage. I love her voice and those numbers that she has been.
Yeah, the two new ones has been amazing.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And so then you know, doing all the Norwegian ones, then obviously maybe the step is not that far to get asked to do stuff for Eurovision, but like, I'm just so excited because I feel like you're exactly what we need for my vision of Jesus Christ Superstar, because it's a visual thing that we're after, you know?
It's a visual, and we are going to go a little bit more of a concert version as well.
For Jesus Christ, right?
For Jesus Christ, like a rock concert.
Yeah.
But also visual, and it's going to be a lot of like movements as well.
Yeah.
Because I kind of like, because that show it's a big movement for me, you know. I saw one Jesus in London a couple of years ago. It was brilliant. It was so good. And they did more kind of concert. It was an outdoor show.
Yeah.
It was so
Perfect.
good. So good. So we have many good ideas, I think, for your show.
I think so.
Our show. Yeah.
Our show. Yay.
And in Dalhalla, my God, the backdrop, can it be more beautiful?
No, it's fantastic.
The audience, it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just coming down into that arena is an experience, I would say.
Yeah. So the audience will get a lot for free.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But where do you find your inspiration for big numbers like the ones that you would have to do in Eurovision, for example? Because so much has been done already. You know what I mean? Like people have been skating and flying and all kinds of things. And so when you get asked to stage a number for something as big as Eurovision, I mean, I'm assuming obviously it starts with a feeling for the song, but then
of course,
you know?
But it's the same. I mean, I'm listening to the song and to the lyrics, so I always start there. Yeah. And what kind of artist it is. Like when I choreographed and directed Alexander Ryback with the song Fairytale.
You did that one?
Yes, I did.
Yay, that's amazing. Okay, my son is gonna die now.
Yeah,
I don't want him to die, but I'm gonna tell him.
That was a long time ago. No, but that's kind of folk floristic song, you know?
Right.
So we find those dancers who could actually fit into that music, because it's this typical Norwegian dance, you know? From Hallingdal. So they are, So that's how I was listening to the song, and that was with his violin and everything.
Right.
So it was a good mix, I think.
Yeah. And did you do the Norwegian Melody Grand Prix this year?
Yes, I do.
Has it already been, or?
Yes, we got a winner.
Oh.
So, yes, his name is Tix. He's one of Norway's most popular pop artists nowadays.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And a very interesting artist. So people in Sweden and Denmark who doesn't know who Tix is, he has done a lot of really nice things, actually.
Okay,
so
cool.
we're going the 8th of May. We're going to Rotterdam.
Right.
So we will see. But that's what we do. No, he's a great artist with an interesting history.
Okay.
Yeah, he took his name because he's having the syndrome tics himself. Yeah.
Okay.
So he took the name.
Yeah.
But,
well, that's a really great way of owning it as well.
Absolutely. And he owned his story for sure.
Yeah.
He owned his story.
No, I think that's really important as an artist, and especially if there is something that people can, use against you, so to speak, why not take it?
Yeah, he was struggling in school and everything, so yeah.
Another thing that I really wanted to talk to you about as a fellow producer is because I know that
how can we spend money?
How can we spend money on so many things? No, but how do you decide on which projects that you want to work on? I mean, because you both produce musical theater, but you also produce like smaller shows and things like that. But because I think it's difficult to find the balance between, you know, sometimes what you really want to do versus what's not going to bankrupt you, you know, like it has to be commercial enough because you have to sell the tickets. And sometimes, for me at least, it's either about the title of the show that you think is going to sell the tickets. Sometimes it's about casting the right person or getting a name in some
always
way.
Have a famous person instead of having the right person and blah blah blah.
Right, because I feel that is really difficult, because as an artist from the beginning, you know, obviously I was really annoyed always when the producers picked a famous name over a better performer sometimes, because, you know, and now as I'm a producer myself, I do understand that point, because at the end of the day, you know, if there's no money, if no one buys any tickets, then we can't do the next show. Or
you do understand so much more when you are on the other side.
Yeah,
don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. And Johan Espeland that I talked to last week, we also talked a lot about the audition process, because we talked about the Nordic Musical Club that we started on Clubhouse, where a lot of times the questions that come or the conversations are very often steered towards auditions and what we as producers look for when we hold auditions, etc. And just to go over that really quickly again, when you're on the other side of the table, like we are now most of the time, it's a huge puzzle. It's, you know, and that was something that I had no clue about or didn't think about when I was a performer or when I was going out for a lot of auditions myself, because I was always trying to figure out, what do they want? Like I could get, you know, really obsessed with, like, you know, should I pick this dress or this dress for the audition? And it's just so, like, no one cares if your dress is blue or pink. Like, do you look more fat in this dress than in like, it doesn't matter, as long as, you know, you're comfortable, as long as you're showing you made somewhat of an effort. I mean, like,
but I think from my point of view, when I sit at the auditions, I think I always try to see two sides. I see what I see when the person comes into the audition, and then I always try to imagine, can he or she work? I mean, can we try to surprise people? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that for me that's really important. And can I see this person? Well, it's not a typical My Fair Lady, but can she do it? Can we twist it? I think that's my job.
Yeah,
that's my job.
And I think that's a really good point, because sometimes I think, I mean, as a producer, I get really excited when someone comes in and surprises me.
Always.
You know?
Always. I mean,
and does their thing, and you're like, wait a second. Because when we auditioned for the Bridges of Madison County, for example, we had two girls that we chose between for the role as Francesca's daughter.
Yeah.
And they were polar opposite of each other.
Yeah.
We had Moa, who got the part. She was, you know, like short, curly, dark hair, a little sulky, felt a little, you know, like a really sulky teenager type, you know, adorable. She was fantastic. And then we had this other girl that we chose between. I'm not going to say her name. She probably knows who she is if she's listening to this, but she was small, blonde, very chirpy, you know, like a typical, I would say a typical Glinda, you know, from the, and, you know, like, and had a completely different energy. And she was also amazing. She would have been great in the role. And we you know, we had to choose between the two of them.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, our director went for, you know, like she would probably be a great, is she called Wednesday, the daughter in Addams Family? You know, like he went because, and again, because maybe for the greater picture he was trying to paint, he needed green more than red. You know what I mean? To balance something else in the cast. I don't know. But I mean, she was fantastic. So it was a great choice. But I'm just saying that sometimes we're not looking for a particular thing. It might be two polar opposites, and we just need to pick, you know, whichever color complements the rest of the picture. So it has nothing to do with you or which song you chose for the first audition or which dress you wore that day or whatever.
Have you seen the TV series Smash? It's called Smash, yeah.
No, what is that? Is it the one with what's her name?
Where they are casting
Megan Hilty?
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen
clips.
Oh,
you have to. It's absolutely. It's about what we are talking about now.
Oh,
they are doing the new musical Bombshell. It's about Marilyn Monroe's life, where they end up with two girls,
right?
Where they are they are totally opposite each other, you know. And should we go this way or should we go the totally opposite way?
Yeah,
it's a really good show. You should see it. It's a really good show. Yeah, good songs as well.
Okay, so that's a recommendation.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Smash. I think a lot of musical people have seen it.
Yeah. I think I've heard songs from it because I'm always looking for...
Fading on a girl. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, because I think I've looked at or listened to songs from it from Broadway to Duvemåla.
Yeah.
So...
a lot of good songs.
Yeah.
For women, especially for women.
Yay. We like good songs for women.
Yes, we do.
And good songs for men. Let's not let them feel unincluded because you are included. Yeah. But yeah, musical theater. I'm, for one, is very glad that a lot of the newer shows coming out are painting a different perspective on women or giving us more three-dimensional roles to work with. Because when you look at the older shows, you know, there was very two-dimensional female characters usually. Yeah,
I think it's doing My Fair Lady, as we mentioned before. I think that's a kind of tricky thing.
Yeah.
How to teach a woman how to speak and how to behave.
Yeah. It's now that you're saying it's a very mansplaining show.
Yes, it is. Well, maybe you should see it in a historical perspective instead. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm not that interesting anymore doing that.
No. But some shows are just difficult to do.
Yeah.
Because I remember this because I was talking to another producer who was who had the Swedish rights to do 9 to 5, the musical, and they didn't really know how to do that show without it becoming like a sexist show.
Yeah.
I felt like what they described to me, I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately, but what they wanted to do was to rewrite a few things and bring in a female director and stuff like that. So that could have been interesting. But when you pick projects for your theater, what are some of the main things that you think about? Because from my point of view, I usually just pick something that I feel passionate about.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't usually, I should probably do that more, but I don't usually sit down and think about like what would be the best financial idea or, you know, like a little bit more now. Because
producing a musical theater, it costs a lot of money, a lot of money. So, I mean, if you are a private producer, as we are, we have to think commercial.
Yeah,
that's how it is. That's how it is. But we all I think it's really important, as you say, Victoria, to kind of
I mean, you have to feel like it. You know
yes,
what I mean?
yeah. I mean, the first big show we did, it was Greece, actually.
That's fun, though.
I love Greece. I love Greece, but maybe it's not my first choice, to be honest.
Yeah.
And our second show was Flashdance, and Flashdance, and that was a huge success here in Norway, actually, in Sweden, well, I think.
Yeah, it was.
And of course, you have the brand Flashdance, but actually, you don't know so much about the show. So we were a bit. Will people catch this? Will people? But I have to say, I love the era. I love the songs, and I love the story. So I felt so much for it. So I said I really would like to do it.
Yeah.
And my colleagues was about, are you pretty sure about this? Yes. And I burned it. I said, I really have to do this show. I really have to do this show.
Yeah.
And it became a big success, as I said. So I'm happy for that.
Yes.
Well, I think it's important that you kind of,
Yeah, but you know, you have to feel like, for me, it's impossible. And I think a lot of most producers probably would feel the same way, like, because there's so much work and there's so much that goes into it. And unless you feel like, I couldn't go into a project just thinking about, will this make money or not? I think this is like that doesn't work for me. I have to feel something. And I was a bit hesitant, to be honest with you, about doing Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah.
Because it annoys me that there's a million men on stage and just one woman, and she's a whore.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I see your point.
But that was a choice that was obviously based on, like, weighing the risk of producing something that huge at Dalhalla with, like what I want to do. And then I feel like, first of all, I love Andrew Lloyd Webber. I think I love a lot of his shows, and I love Jesus Christ Superstar, although it annoys me with the female-male ratio.
Yeah.
And so my thought process was then, what can we do with this show to make it spectacular at this arena? And how can we do something really exciting with the Mary Magdalene part, for example? And so just casting that part, I mean, slightly differently than most of the productions that I've seen, was something that was important to me.
Yeah. And we did a good choice.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm so excited about this production. You have no idea.
Yeah.
I just want to.
But I have to say that our next show that we are producing in Norway is Jersey Boys.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's a show that is so commercial for the big audience. I don't know. So we are taking a risk here, I think, because musical people know that show so much. And of course, you know, I think the leading role here is the music, because everyone knows the music. But if you talk about, if I go out on the street here in Oslo and they're saying, well, you have to come and see Jersey Boys. Jersey Boys, I've never heard about that show. People will be a little bit, so you have actually there, you have to sell the music.
Right. But one of the things that I think you guys also are doing really, really well, is that all your marketing material is really spot on. Like, you put so much money. I mean, I don't know how much money, but it looks expensive what you did. Yeah, with the promo videos and all the promo material that you made for Jersey Boys.
Yeah.
And I think that's also a point that you have to get across, because people need to understand how much money goes into these productions before they're even like before we've even started rehearsals.
Yeah. But also people have, I mean, the poster, or how do you see it? I mean, that's the first thing that the audience see.
Yeah.
I mean, it tells the whole thing about the show and what they will get.
Right.
You know? So all this looks expensive. Yeah, it is expensive in there as well. So you understand what I mean.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it is important to have a good poster.
Because I had a conversation with a young performer the other day who is thinking of producing her first smaller show, and I was really happy to speak to her and give her some pointers. But I think one of the things that people do wrong when they want to produce smaller things or start somewhere with producing is that, first of all, they think that the whole show has to be ready and perfect before you start marketing it. It doesn't.
Absolutely not.
The second thing is that they are spending, like all their money on getting the show perfect. So they end up not having any money for the marketing material. Exactly. I would turn the whole, flip the coin and say, if you don't have the marketing material that makes people want to buy a ticket to come and see it, it doesn't matter if you're naked on stage or if you have, a dress worth like £1 million.
Exactly.
No one's going to give a shit.
You're so spot on that thing, Victoria, because I mean the money, the amount of money that we spend on marketing, it's the biggest.
It's the biggest part.
Yeah, it's the biggest part. Absolutely,
because
it is expensive.
I mean, that's what we're selling. Like, if no one buys a ticket, they won't know that you had the best dress in the show.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
if they don't know about the show, they will not come, and you can sit there. Why aren't they coming? But probably because you haven't sell it so well.
Right. So that's just something to think about as well. And I mean, as we said in the beginning, there are some shows are so well known that they sell themselves because of the name, like West Side Story, or I mean, you only have to see the mask of Phantom of the Opera and you will know what it is because it's such a big brand. So
but it's funny that you mentioned West Side Story, because that's the show that we actually opened just before the
I know.
Yeah. So we did 3 shows, but that's I mean, that wasn't my first choice of show. I have to say, really? I have never, like, if you ask my friends, they are really laughing. Are you finally doing West Side Story, Mattias? Well, I don't know. It's not my cup of tea, but I have to say, after working with it and directing it, it's amazing. What a masterpiece.
I mean, it's a masterpiece.
What a masterpiece.
And there is a reason that some of these shows come back over and over and over. So I do understand it. But I agree with you. It's not on my top list to do because I also feel that it's too easy. You know what I mean? Like, it's so easy to go for one of these big titles.
Yeah. But I have to say, it's the hardest show I ever done.
Yes, yes, I do understand you.
Oh, holy Moses. Yeah, because to get it, like, you have to believe in those characters so 190%, you know? And if you don't, the whole show falls.
Yeah.
Like, no, you have to believe in those characters and do it 100% for, like, på liv och död, as we say in Swedish. You have to do it for liv och död, literally.
Yeah. No, because otherwise, you know, as you said, then I think a lot of shows are like that. But I think West Side Stories is one of those where you really have to, like, go full on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, you shouldn't do it. But
we have a great cast, by the way. I have to say that if someone is listening from the cost.
Yeah, I would love to. Are you going to do it again?
Yes, we will. We will open it again as soon as we can have some audience here in Norway.
Yeah, and I will come to Norway to see it because I would
more than welcome. You're more than welcome. And
as long as they let Swedes into Norway.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Well, you have to stay in quarantine hotel here in Norway. You don't want to do that.
No, so I'll wait until I don't have to.
No.
I don't want to stay in quarantine. I feel like I've been in prison for over a year now.
So how is it in prison? Yeah, but how is it in Sweden with with the government? The government, do they help you with some for you producers with some money, or what happened?
They are, but way too little.
Okay.
And so I don't know what the new what do you call it? The new bidrag, vad fan heter det?
Well, bidrag. Let's call it bidrag.
Oh,
well, yeah. Well, my English is terrible.
I don't know what the new like they've said that they're going to come out with more money, and that you're going to be able to apply for somehow, but no one really knows what the rules are going to be or how it's all going to work. I mean, right now we are still waiting for I think the last part of help from 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know how that's all going to go. I mean, all the paperwork has been sent in, but it's hard. Let's just put it that way. It's really hard. It's hard for us producers. It's hard for all the performers who don't know when or if they're going to work. It's hard for the audience who have bought tickets and are still, because I mean, I will say this, I feel like we've had a very supportive audience, both for Jesus Christ Superstar and for From Broadway to Duvemåla, and I'm super thankful to the audience who have decided to keep their tickets. But I mean, it's hard for them as well because they're waiting. They want to see the shows.
Yeah.
And I get questions, like, are you playing? Are you not playing? And it's
we don't know.
I don't know. Like, we're waiting as much as you guys are. As soon as we can play safely, we will play. But I'm not the one calling the shots here, so it's really difficult to say.
But I have to say, I so believe that it will come out well after this.
Yes,
I think the audience. I think we will have a lot of audience who will see live theater again, because I'm so tired of watching Netflix and everything. I really am. I have to say, I'm so missing live theater. Concerts and everything. So I think the audience are so ready. So
how do you feel
for all those artists out there, stay patient. It will come a better day. I'm so sure.
So how do you feel like the Norwegian public are like? Are you getting any like feedback from regular people, like ticket buyers? Like, how do they feel? Because one of the things that I saw the other day was Dalhalla put out on their social media something like, which artist or which show are you looking forward to the most coming back to Dalhalla?
Yeah.
And so many people, I mean, obviously a lot of people wrote a favorite artist or something, but a lot of the answers were basically just anything live.
Yes.
Just anything and will come, So I do have a feeling that people are like, they just want to get out there and see something live again.
Yeah. No, but it's the same in Norway, I have to say. But we produced a show called Stardust with the Norwegian famous artist Hilde Louise Asbjørnsen.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story about, it's a one-woman show. And we were supposed to open this show in January this year. And you could tell people are afraid of buying tickets.
Right.
Because they don't know. So they are, because in Norway, we have from the government what they call stimulansordningen. I can't translate that, but it's like to stimulate us producers to produce new shows.
Right.
So we actually got money for that. Amazing, amazing. So we produced that show, but no one buy tickets nowadays. They really don't. So we have to wait. So people, I feel that people are afraid.
Yeah.
So I think it will take some time before we can see that. But everyone is talking about this ketchup effect. Like when it opens, everything is like going crazy.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I hope everything works out with the vaccines, and they're talking about vaccine passports and whatever. But you know, like, as they have to figure it out somehow, because I mean, to be honest, I mean, this is not a life that anyone wants to live, where we can't see each other, where we can't, you know, be with our friends, where we can't go to shows. Like, people are starving in so many ways now. It's not even funny anymore.
No, I totally agree.
What are your plans for the future, though? Is there anything you can tell me?
Well, as I mentioned for you, we continue with West Side Story because it only played three shows. Yeah. And then we are planning to do Jersey Boys,
right?
Because that was supposed to open this autumn, no, like 2020, autumn 2020.
Right.
No, 21. No,
2020.
2020, yeah.
Yeah, you were supposed to open 2020.
Yeah. And it was cancelled. So now we're waiting for that one. And then after that, we are planning to do Sister Act.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. It was on China Theater.
Yeah, I know.
Stockholm. Yeah.
Are you already casting it, or?
We are casting it now.
Oh, exciting.
And then we have some other big shows coming up after that as well. But I can't tell about that.
No, and we are going to do stuff together as well.
We are going to do stuff together as well, Victoria, and we are so looking forward to it. So
yeah, I'm really excited.
Nice So I'm so positive about the future. I have to say, I'm so positive. No. Hang in.
Hang in there, everybody. Well, I am really, really excited that you wanted to be here and talk to me in TOCCA Talks and just talk a bit about...
I love that name, by the way.
I know.
TOCCA Talks.
Isn't it great? TOCCA Talks.
It's great.
No, I have so many great ideas, you know? No, it's... No, because the thing is that I did a podcast that was simply called Musikalpodden, the musical pod, and it was all in Swedish. And I don't know how many episodes, but a lot of episodes actually. You can find it on iTunes or wherever if you speak Swedish or Norwegian. And then I didn't have time to do it anymore because, you know, I'm producing so many different things. And it was during the time I was producing both From Broadway to Duvemåla and The Bridges of Madison County, where I also played the lead. And it was just crazy in 2018. So I didn't do the podcast anymore. And then the pandemic hit and I decided to start working on my digital content, as we say, my YouTube channel, etc. And one of the things that I've wanted to do for a very, very long time is, you know, an interview show or something like this for with video. So it actually worked out really well. And then I started TOCCA Talks because I wanted to, you know, it's different when you...
It's so good. It's so good. But I have to say, I used to travel around a lot, you know, different countries, but I haven't speak English for a very long time. I really can feel that.
Yeah, but you know, so this is great practice to sit and...
It was, for sure.
And just speak with someone in English. No, I know exactly what you mean. I used to be a lot in America and all over the place, and then you speak English all the time. And now, you know, I feel like I haven't
done that for a long time
at all.
No, 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 I know. I haven't done it for a long time.
Well, now we have.
Now we have.
Yeah. Well, I want to encourage everyone who watched this show to subscribe and like and share, and you all know what to do. It's social media, right? And I would also like to say, now that we have a Swedish Norwegian director producer here, that we also accept videos of musical theater singers for our musical TV on Fridays, where we air a new performer, a new song every week. So if you're interested in being featured on TOCCA Entertainment's YouTube channel, then you should send us your musical theater video, and you might be the song of the week on Fridays. So don't miss out on that opportunity, because my idea with this whole YouTube channel and with TOCCA Talks is to create a platform for international musical theater. So not only Nordic countries, but if you do musical theater, if you're a performer from anywhere in the world and want to be part of this, let us know. So you can send me a message through the website or just in the comments below or something like that. I would love to hear from you all. And I would also like to thank Mattias Carlsson.
Thank you so much for being here with you. It was such a pleasure, I have to say.
And I'm really
looking forward
to working together.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.